Mazda MX-5 Cup, presented by BF Goodrich on IMSA Radio.
Lovely to have your company. Sorry the weather isn't playing ball. Hello everybody, it's John Hindorf for a start of a new season. So much promise going on. The IMSA MX-5 Cup with a huge field of MX-5s parked up in the pit lane, ready for the command to roll out onto the high banks of Daytona. The 2021 season was absolutely outstanding. And we kick it off again here at Daytona International Speedway in Florida. The infield road course added to the high banks, just on 3.5 miles, with a little bit of everything. There's much more on the infield than people give it credit for. It's a tough little nuanced part of the circuit. And then you've got the high speeds of the Speedway 1 and 2, heavy braking through the bus stop, new curves on the exit of that, and then the dash to the line in the tri-oval. Remember what that looked like a year ago this weekend. Joining me in the IMSA broadcast booth, veteran of many Le Mans and IMSA series down through the years, is Shea Adam. She'll call the race with me. Mo Murray from Mazda's in as well. It's the start of a new season, Mo. We've got to talk about what a fantastic take-up we've had again. The protagonists from last year are back. They're staying. They want to be here, but lots of new people as well. You must be delighted.
I am absolutely thrilled. There's nothing like the energy of the start of a new season, especially here at such a fantastic facility as Daytona International Speedway. And to kick off the weekend's racing with the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup Series, as we did last year. Folks will remember the first race from last year when we had 8 cars come to the finish line between off of turn 4, and as they halfway between the finish line and turn 4, we had no idea who was going to win that race, and it was an incredible finish. Hopefully we'll have more like that today.
You look at this kind of series, a single make manufacturer series. A lot of people would look at something like this as a stepping stone in front of some very big teams and some heavy hitters. The Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Championship has, over the last 2 or 3 seasons, gone beyond that now. It's now become a destination, and that's because there's money in this. People can make money for themselves, and they can put it back into the sport.
Well, a destination series is exactly what this has become. Mazda and Idemitsu and the other people, BF Goodrich, who support the series, have put together a package, a prize package and a scholarship package that makes it worthwhile for drivers to look at this series. And, you know, there are drivers in the world who aspire to win the Rolex 24 or to go to IndyCar or Formula One or wherever they are. Not everybody's like that. Some drivers you know, have a level that they're comfortable at and they want to get to, and for a lot of those drivers, MX-5 Cup represents that destination. And it's not just about drivers. We have drivers who earn their way in through scholarships or find their way into the series and stay here for some time. But some of those drivers, particularly a couple of our former scholarship winners in Michael Carter and Jared Thomas, took that scholarship or that prize fund and created a team and have started businesses around their participation in MX-5 Cup. And that's what really makes this a destination series.
Magnificent commitment from Mazda over the last few years and continuing into 2022. Here's our Mazda starting grid. Pole position for Sam Paley, his second. He was a rookie last year, looking to play in the top echelons of the sport this year. Celine Roland with a new colour scheme will be alongside in second. What about the winner of the scholarship on the inside of row number 3, Shea? A big move this weekend in just his second outing. We saw him, of course, in Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta at the end of last year.
We go from having Connor Zilic first race as the Mazda Scholarship winner in the series, going for the championship this year alongside the champion from last season, the season previous, excuse me, Michael Carter in the 08. It's going to be an interesting start with the veteran next to the rookie.
Jared Thomas is next up, and he has been good this weekend as well. It's going to be an extra lap here because of the conditions. The clock has not yet started. Let's see if it starts now. Yes, it will. Now, this is absolutely because these guys have not had the opportunity to be out in wet weather. So let's continue on down through the grid. After Jared Thomas, what a great run by David Staub right at the end of the qualifying session in the top 6.
Real progression from David, who's in his second year of racing in this series, and this year joined by his brother Michael. They have very different driving styles. The cars look similar-ish, but when you get up close to them, you can see one big difference. I talked to Michael yesterday. He said it's an advantage for the competition that they don't know who's in what car or who's where, so it should be quite a bit of fun with the brothers on track.
Woody Hyman, good qualifying for him. Jensen Altman, who raced really well last year in the number 13. That was his rookie season. He's qualified better than he did last year, puts him in a better starting position.
Yeah, just ahead of Chris Nunes, the Rookie of the Year second last year, but he was 4th overall in the championship. Chris had a great run. Right next to him will be Joey Atanasio, teammate to Chris Nunes. Watch them to fall in line, one behind the other for early running.
Almost half the field are rookies, first-timers this year, 14 out of 30 starters. We've not seen Rossi Lee out there in the number 48 car. Not had word from the pits yet about what the issue was for Rossi Lee. We'll try and get the word on that later on. But at the front of the field, I can't wait to see Sam Pearley, who came on leaps and bounds last year. He loved running with the experienced guys. He's got the opportunity to lead to the green flag once we have the Mazda safety car pull off.
Forgive my giggling, but the Mazda safety car was having trouble finding traction out there through the Western Horseshoe, getting a little bit tail happy. We did have a report of a spinner on the first formation lap. That was Matt Curry, rookie starting at the back of the field. He had issues in qualifying, only got in a handful of laps that weren't enough to move him further up. But already having one rotation, let's see if everybody makes it around to the green flag.
Well, from our high position over the start-finish line, we're about on line with the O and the N of Daytona on the grass in front of us for the Rolex 24 this weekend. I'm looking down, I can see a green flag in hand, and it looks like the lights are out on the Mazda safety car. So we're beginning to form up into the Noah's Ark, how appropriate for this particular weather condition. 2x2 formation. Down on the inside, the blue car, that was black last year. So Sam Pearley, we're all having to get used to new liveries. On the outside of him, it is Celine Roland. He's running for another charity this year. Autism Speaks last year. What's he going for this year?
It was Puzzle Pieces last year. This year it is the Austin Hatcher Foundation. So an olive green car with orange accents on it, raising money for pediatric cancer, trying to find a cure there. And Austin Hatcher is an IMSA charity. It is now also a Hickson Motorsport one as well.
Already had the clock started, but an extra formation lap so that all of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 drivers can get a good feel for the conditions. Race control have waved a finger and said no bump drafting on the high banks. They're pretty close. Great looking start. 2022 IMSA gets underway with the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5, 2 perfect rows as they come through the tri-oval and down into turn 1. Sam Pearley on the low side in the blue car. And all the brake lights, all we can see is brake lights as we look to our right-hand side. Here comes Celine Roland around the outside, but following through, Sam Posey going through. Jared Thomas was a bit sideways there for a moment with the yellow roll cage. But going through into second position, the dark red car is
Connor
Zilic, the man who won the scholarship last year. And with that stripe down the side and the stitching, very reminiscent of the Mazda Le Mans winner. Mo Murray's even got his socks on, of course he has, in the renowned colours. Through the gloom in the late afternoon here at Daytona. And Sam has done the job. Sam Pearley leads it out. The battle's behind. Here comes Jared Thomas in the silver car with the yellow roll hoop. He's alongside Celine Roland. Get used to these new colours into turn 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, 2.5 wide before we turned into The left-hander, big slide by Jared, and another one, and another one. He's still got that MX-5 sideways.
Great catch.
At the further back, there's all kinds of battles as well, but at the front of the field, it is still on. And Zilic in the 72 car, Connor Zilic, has taken the lead. The blue car that was leading, we take our eyes off it for a second, has dropped back to third.
John, there are points that are awarded for most laps led. So believe me, Celine Roland, sitting in second right now, is happy to be sitting in second, but he will not be there for long as he moves to look down the inside. Not going to do it through the bus stop. It is Connor Zilic still easily in control, but further back, there's a bit of chaos.
And a spin.
Woody Hyman.
Woody Hyman's gone around.
Oh, great job keeping it out of the dirt.
And behind, though, it's going to cause all kinds of chaos. The 69's gone around. That is very unfortunate for Justin. No, it was Justin Piscatell, wasn't it?
No, Anthony McIntosh.
Thank you.
Yep, Piscatell's car is a light blue this year, almost a periwinkle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll have you on the colour charts later on. At the front of the field, Connor Zilic then leading it out. He'll get to lead a lap. In only his second outing across the line, he does lead. Now, what happened further back down the field? Huge sideways slide from the... Now, how
that was
Sam,
Matthew Dirks.
Sam losing the lead here, just couldn't get any grip going forward out of turn 5 and 6. Then there's the big slide with Woody goes around. That's all right. The 82 car, he gets in, but then, of course, people are unsighted behind. 1, 2, 3 cars turning around behind that.
Someone's off at turn 1, John, and that is car number 33. That's Alex Pashura.
Pashura holding on to the white car with the red roll bar from last year. Didn't hit anything. Fantastic. And the 33's pointing in the right direction and moves off.
He is the third Spark Performance car this year. As wow, rim shot for Connor Zilic going around the Western Horseshoe. Holds on to it and stays ahead of Celine Roland.
Chris Noons, did you see Chris Noons? He was down the inside for a moment. I think he was to second. He might have even been in the lead. And what a run through as well from the bright orange number 51, Tyler Gonzalez in the Copeland car. At least we can see that one in the gathering gloom here. Break at the front of the field. Just a moment or two ago, so Noons comes down the inside. I think he was leaning into second. He was into second. He actually got the note. He was leading. He was leading for about maybe 5 feet. Zilic is driving the berm. He's right on the outside, finding the grip offline where the other cars haven't been in the dry weather sessions. Zilic showing fantastic car control and also great thought. He's using way more curb than anyone else in the middle section of the bus stop as well.
He's using it to throw the car into where he wants it to be. All right, there's a little bit of bump drafting going on between Tyler Gonzalez in the 51 Copeland entry and the 87 Vixen Motorsport for Celine Roland, who just slams into the back of Connor Zilic, his teammate.
Warning for the first time, there will be penalties given out, and there's for excessive contact. We did see people losing lap times in qualifying. That water being thrown up is getting a little bit worse. It is still racing. The wipers, still raining. The wipers are on here. To the line then. 36 minutes to go. Believe it or not, we've not even had 10 minutes of actual racing yet. We started under yellow to give all of the drivers the opportunity to feel out the condition. Now, inside line taken by Tyler Gonzalez there in the bright orange and white Copeland Motorsport car. Very interesting, almost like a rally driver hooking up the inside wheels to get a bit of grip.
There's a spinner down in turn 1. That's Jamison Riley in the bright yellow Jamison entered car. Can't miss that one. But yeah, you're right, John. Tyler Gonzalez was hooking the wheels on purpose, doing the exact opposite of what Connor Zilic did through the bus stop.
Now, what happened to Jamison? Watch for the yellow car. Lost it on his own. Good avoidance from everybody behind him. Looked like he'd snicked it back into gear on the sequential gearbox and started to get it moving. He has. Yeah. That's fine. No, all good news. No yellows required. That was not quite the biggest hit album for Phil Collins.
Hello to Jan, his mom, and the rest of his family back at home. Jamison, part of the Riley Racing family, out of the Northeast.
So Zilic remarkably, has held the lead through all of that. Here comes Celine Roland. He's got the run off the speedway, straight into the rear bumper. I'm keeping an eye on the race control channel to see what's going on. Prolonged or extra contract. But down the inside, here's Gonzalez. He's got the double draft and now goes too wide. He'll go to second. Sitting in behind there is Michael Carter. Big slide by the leader. Awesome piece of... Is that Sebastian Loeb driving that car? It's not. It's Connor Zilic. He's doing a cracking job.
It's the group in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th that's making me a little bit nervous, though. They're sort of letting this pack go. They're letting them wear their tires out a bit as Carter, Thomas, Nunes, and Paley, and then, oh yes, Gresham Wagner, last year's champion, just waiting patiently for their opportunity. They're aware that there's still 34 minutes left of this one.
Daytona and the Rolex 24-hour weekend. Top 4 are together. Here comes Carter. He swings wide early as they come underneath our feet and down towards the braking area for turn 1. We've got 6 together now. JTR car sitting in there. Jared Thomas. I like this wide line from the leader. It does open the door and it gives a real opportunity, or perhaps it just lets them think they've got an opportunity behind them. 6th position, by the way, is Chris Nunes. He's holding on to the back of that pack in that new livery for him with a little more white and black. Off at, big incident. And 3 cars involved again. The 27 had been off, but came back onto the circuit.
Dante Tornello.
And now we've got the black number 55.
It's Moisey Uretsky.
He was hit earlier today in qualifying. It was not his fault.
He was hit there
and
too.
I think he's being pushed there again. Moisey was being given a little bit of a helping bumper there, the old chrome horn.
By Matthew Dirks.
By Matthew Dirks in the 76.
Yeah, the incident at turn 2, I'm sure race control will have another look at that. The 55 did continue though, so Uretsky able to continue. In qualifying, he was unable to, and it looked like a broken shock from my perspective when that car actually did get back to the pit lane. So that was unfortunate for a very strong qualifying.
So the battle for 2nd position rages on. Let's just take stock of what's going on. We started behind the safety car because of the wet weather. No wet weather practice for these guys. Top 6 are in 2, 3 Mazda-sized groups. Coming down to the bus stop on the back straight. And the young man who won the scholarship last year and announced his intentions immediately in his first outing at the series finale 2 races at Road Atlanta last year. And that's Connor Zilic in the number 72. The red car with the white stripes. Copeland Motorsports sitting right in behind. Wipers going furiously there. Interesting to see that the leader, of course, has only got his wipers on delay wipe, but everybody behind him, they're getting the spray. So they're full on. Amazingly, actually, in the wet, you don't get wet in these cars until you stop. The airflow over the top keeps you dry, so there's no worry about the windscreen getting steamed up either. Here comes the Michael Carter car as off and hitting the wall. The bright blue liquid model 37. That is Michael Staub. Well, that's a shame. He'd been making some
Is that at the bus stop?
Forward progress. Yes, that is. Oh, he was so unlucky. Thought he'd got it back. Had the flick, slaps the steering wheel in frustration. Now, those little Mazdas are tough at the front end. He's got the car pointing in the right direction. Race control giving him the time to get out. So impact called. A little bit of bodywork damage. Wheels are pointing in the right direction. All right, it doesn't look pretty. It's not going to be good in this race, but it can be fixed. We'll put some new components on that. I'm not sure that even needs stringing up again. 2nd place, gone around. That is the Copeland car. Gonzalez losing the rear end in the International Horseshoe, and he'll be absolutely gutted with himself. Check that, it's the Western Horseshoe, my apologies. Hit the white line, hit the white line as he turned in.
So 2nd down to,
let's have a look at the right
9th
rear.
now?
Yes, just turning in on the white line. The BF Goodrich tyres doing great work in this bad weather, but those white lines are so slippery here.
Dante Tornello's gone off again. He's Yeah, turn one. I think he made a little further around. He looks like he's pushed up against the pit wall at the exit of turn one. But yes, that's not an ideal spot.
1-2, yeah. We saw Jensen Altsman have a off there. These guys are really struggling last year. Yeah. Really struggling for grip now. They're pushing hard. It's interesting, you know, when we talked to the guys last year, Shea, they would say quite often that in the early parts of the race, you'd work together, try and break down a big pack into a smaller pack and race at the end. I'm not seeing that here. No. I'm seeing everybody's racing for themselves right from the fact that we went green flag just after the start of the 45 minutes race.
Yeah, and everybody really is cooperating well. Connor Zilic out front, very reminiscent of Preston Pardus, what we saw last year. But here comes the pack, and bye-bye, as Jared Thomas is now our leader. Michael Carter into second, Chris Nunes in third, and then Connor Zilic in fourth.
Zilic there, I don't know if he had a little moment coming off the banks at 4. He's going to try that wide line, and they'll have to be careful of the slow-moving car, which they are. That's brilliant. But that is the power of the draft here. That's what took 8th to 1st in the race last year. And basically, we've only got a 4-car pack here. But Zilic, he's not taking this lying. He's got no respect for his elders whatsoever, has he? And fair play to the young man.
Well, Chris Nunes is hardly his elder. I think they're separated by a year, but yes.
Well, okay, the more experienced drivers. Yes. Remember, this is his 3rd Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 race. He's already led it. He's battling with guys who've been at the forefront of the championship in the last few seasons.
He's battling, he's passing, and he is driving away from those guys. Celine Roland is booking for 4th position from Chris Nunes, who was passed by Zilic, and Nunes gets a little bit squirrely. Those curbs are treacherous.
Very slippery indeed. The top 6 that was are down to 5 because of that slide and half spin by Tyler Gonzalez, and that's the green number 13, Jensen Altsman. Oh, he was having such a good run inside the top 10. Now, again, was that just lack of grip? It's the grey car. He just lost it on the exit. Spears across the infield and does a little bit of rally crossing. Nothing to hit there, so that's the good news. But really, he'll be kicking himself there. That's a new colour scheme for him. That's putty colour with the light stripes, and right in the middle of the pack, that's the JTR car. That's Jared Thomas.
That was the leader, and there's damage on Connor Zilic for the bumper, the rear bumper. We've also got Michael Carter now up into the lead, and Zilic is going back for the lead despite the fact that the arrow on the back of his car is not how it should be.
He's gone for the Super Leggera, the lightweight MX-5. So there was contact coming in to the bus stop. It was Jared Thomas leading. He just lost it, and everybody else checked up. Carter in second. Gets a little love tap from Zilic, and then Celine Roland hit the back of Zilic as well. I think of the top 5 there, the only car that wasn't involved in that was Chris Nunes, and Chris Nunes has got out of that very nicely indeed.
He's got the lead for the moment, at least I should say. It's Connor Zilic still doing that outside line through turn 1, is trying to fight back, and he does get back into the front.
Wow, what a pass. What a pass that is. We're looking at a real talent here. The scholarship once again has thrown up a name that we will be talking about for some time. So it was 6. It went to 5 when Gonzalez went around. Now it's down to 4 as Jared Thomas spun out of the lead a lap ago.
More drama coming into turn 1 as a pack further back. Is that Gresham Wagner involved there? No, it's Aaron Johnson in the 24. Correct. With the green roll cage. That used to be Sparky, who would run that. Benefited massively at 3 cars just running well off the circuit, including Sam Paley.
Who was our pole sitter?
Yeah.
Let's not forget. Also a car coming out of the pits there. That was Michael Staub, who got the car back after his incident and the contact at the far side of the circuit. So he is rejoining. I think that's wise because the conditions might be like this all weekend.
We do have a car off course. Moisey Uretsky is off at the Western Horseshoe. Not sure if he is going to be able to continue or if that might bring out a yellow. I'll keep watching that. Well,
the one person that doesn't want a yellow at the moment is Connor Zilic. She's just dragged away from the leaders. And as these cars fight at the front of the field, the gaps behind them are starting to come down. Gonzalez is fighting back. And he's bringing Gresham Wagner with him. There's going to be, oh, there goes the last bit of the rear bumper that was hanging on for grim death from the leader.
Full course caution is out. The yellows are flashing.
Zilish leading from Nunes, Carter, Celine Roland. Well, this is great news for Jared Thomas, for Gonzalez, and for Gresham Wagner.
Yeah, Moisey Uretsky, I was wondering why I couldn't actually see him. Now I see the flashing brake light hiding behind the Rolex sign. He is not in a very safe spot, as we have seen, well, Jensen Altsman a couple laps ago go off in basically the same location. So Uretsky, for the second time today, first time in this race, needing a retrieval.
So out comes the recovery crew for the first time this season. And the good news is that there seems to be no major damage there. That is fixable. Reminder though that safety is always paramount on these cars. Let's not forget they all start lives as a road going MX-5. They come over from Japan, actually just down the road. And the Fliss brothers work their magic. They sprinkle Mazda dust on them. No, they don't. They take them apart, put them back together again. More than 250 specific racing parts. Oh, spin behind the safety car.
Matt Curry again. He's the one who spun on the pace lap.
He's digging in as well.
Oh, don't do that.
You're going to have to slip the clutch a little bit or keep the revs down. Oh, that was a bigger off than I thought it was. He's hitting the barriers there with the rear end of the car.
Hit it nice and square, though.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah. The Fliss brothers work their magic on these cars, including putting the FIA rated safety cage in. That wasn't required there for young Mr. Curry, but that has saved far worse damage for many people down through the years. Sequential gearbox, some very trick dampers on here from Multimatic. This is the most cost-effective way you can get this Multimatic suspension on a car. But the thing that's not changed is the heart of the beast. It's the same four-cylinder engine that's in every MX-5 on the showroom floor. It's sealed so there can be no finger pointing. And just to keep a playing field nice and safe. Little bit of the bumper mount just dangling from the back at the moment, Shea.
That might need to be rewelded before tomorrow's race, but for now, it's fine. He's leading in his first race as a full season driver for Connor Zilish. This is a very impressive debut for him. He was very impressive at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta as well, but those races didn't end well. I'm sure he's trying to put that out of his mind, and clearly his team is radioing him to say, hey, there's something hanging off the back. Go back and forth a lot, wiggle, see if it'll fall off on its own. It's not. We are down to less than half this race to go. Where does the time go?
Yeah, I'm going for a lie down and a cold shower. And the start of the season's been exactly as we expected. No choice for race control there with the number 55 Moisey Uretsky car in a place of danger and having demolished a couple of the main event's sponsor signs of the weekend. And I think there's something stuck underneath the front left of that car. We've got the safety crew and the recovery there.
Sandbag maybe from the Rolex board?
Yeah, very good, Shea. Very good indeed. Now, I've got to say that Connor Zilish has been unlucky here because the damage to the left rear of his car was not of his making. He's trying to shake off. This is really, really interesting. He's trying to shake off the bumper mount so that he doesn't get called in for a mechanical black and orange flag, the meatball flag. This will be his team telling him this. This is smart from them. Remember, it was Jared Thomas who was leading the race into the bus stop. Lost it. Everybody checked up behind. And a couple of cars got damaged. Left rear of Connor Zilish, our leader now, with the bumper coming off. That's just a covering. So Jared Thomas was leading, just tried to take a tiny bit too much speed in. Michael Carter behind gets tagged by Zilish. Zilish gets tagged by Roland. Chris Nunes goes Buffalo Gals round the outside and was in fact leading by the end of the lap.
having gone four wheels into the dirt through the exit of the bus stop.
BF Goodrich do rallycross tyres, don't
Yeah,
they? Sure
exactly.
they do. But the upshot of all of that is this damage to the left rear. Now, this could be crucial. At the moment, Zilic and his team will be cursing their luck that the Mazdas are so well put together. On any other manufacturer, that would have fallen off by now. But it's hanging on. And, of course, it's a piece of metal fixing there. And with 20 minutes to go, this is not an easy recovery. They're going to have to do a lift on Moisey Uretsky's car. So this gives the leader the chance to wiggle around a little bit more. We're going to be calling it the Zilic Shuffle, aren't we, by the end of this? That sure. Well, I think he's broken one of the straps that was holding it on.
Well, you know, John, it's $80,000 for a full season in this championship. 2 races per weekend, and clearly a car that is built to not fail.
Well, yes, indeed. Very good. Very good indeed, Chair. The team on the wall. There's no way that Connor could have seen that on his own. So the team on the wall are on the radio and saying, you know, you need to try and shake this off.
There was a signboard wedged under the bottom of the car for starters, so I would imagine that there would be a sandbag there as well.
Yeah. Roll cage being used as the lifting point.
Brilliant.
Yeah, very smart. You know, unsung heroes, we talk about them all the time. Of course, our marshals on the flag posts, the corner workers, but also the rescue and recovery. It's the AMR recovery crew here in IMSA, and they chase the series around. Well, Moisey Uretsky, having had that lift, is actually able to drive away. I was going to say the recovery crews, they're trying not to do any further damage, but in fact, he was just, it looked like he was just high-centered then on the sandbag. Shea Adam gets the 5 point. There's the sandbag.
Yep, he was a lion with the thorn in his paw, and the safety crew helped him. Now, there's sand on the track, but that's a different concern.
That's fine in this weather. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. We often talk about sandbagging in motor racing. It normally means not giving the best to try and game the balance of performance. IMSA are very aware of that. That was sandbagging of a different type there from Moisey Uretsky. He's going to take a little bit of stick for that one. Mo Murray is with us in the booth. What do you reckon to the first half of the first race of the season?
Well, always exciting. The first half was very exciting, but this opportunity under this yellow gives us a chance to point out a couple of the great reasons why running this series under the IMSA banner is such a great idea. The AMR safety crew, that comes with being part of the IMSA weekends, and you can see the magic they work. They get things cleared up. They're innovative. They find a solution, lift the car up, get the banner out, get the race underway again. The IMSA race control that runs these races obviously does a fantastic job. We gave them plenty to worry about last year with races as close as 1/1000th of a second in some cases. And of course, the benefit of having IMSA radio here to call these races for us with you, John, and Shay, absolutely raises, all three of those things raise the level of this series, and moving the series over to IMSA as we did at the beginning of last year and now looking forward into this year has been a real benefit for all of the teams and drivers who participate, and also for the fans who watch the series, because you know we can get back to racing now quickly and you know back to a professional level of racing that's very good.
It's a good point you make, Mo, because there are other sanctioning bodies available, to use the term. When a series like Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 makes that decision, all of those things are at the forefront of your mind. Does it just fit nicely within this paddock as well because of the sports car and GT nature and the MX-5 being clearly a driver's car?
Well, you know, that's at the root of these decisions. Mazda is at its heart a sports car company, and IMSA is also a sanctioning organization that's built around creating a platform for everybody to chase their dreams. Whether you're a big team or a small team or an older driver or a younger driver, everybody has an opportunity with multi-class racing, with all of the things going on. Everybody has a chance to to chase their dreams and enable their dreams. And that fits very nicely with Mazda's ethos about wanting to enrich the lives of people who come in contact with the brand and be a part of for Mazda to be a part of their journey to their level of excellence, whatever that might be.
Seems a good enough reason for me. I'm just glad they're back, really am. Mo, thanks for the moment. Looks like we're going back to green flag racing. A third of the race still to be enacted. And Connor Zilic, the rookie, in only his third outing in the full series, has shaken off that pesky piece of metal. He's done the job he was asked to do by the McCumbee-McAleer team on the wall.
By Hickson Motorsports, yes, you're right.
By Hickson, excuse me. Yeah.
And as of right now, the rookie is tied for the championship lead because he's led the most laps in this race, so that's 10 bonus points.
10 bonus points to Sam Paley for pole position. So he came into this race leading the championship on pole position. He's dropped down to 10th position, but has the opportunity to move forward now. 14 minutes, take a deep breath. It might be the last time you have the opportunity to do so. We've seen what can happen in just one lap. So 14 minutes, it could be absolutely extraordinary. Connor Zilic then, with his first restart from the lead in the big championship. The Mazda MX-5 safety car has pulled off into the pit lane now. That's going to be a nice run to the line. No worries about catching the safety car. Zilic is at a very good speed. Oh, further back. One of the Copeland cars goes sideways and there's more damage. Now, will we go back? Are they waving it off? No, they're not. It's gone back to green. Green flag racing.
That was Piscatel, John. Piscatel was serious front-end damage.
He's having a horrible race, side by side, going down into turn one. Can Zilic hold on? He surely won't go to the outside. He does go to the outside. And down the inside, Nunes has a go. Here comes Gonzalez fighting back after that spin. 3 wide out of turn one into turn two. That's a chicane. You can't get 3 Mazda MX-5s through there. They tried. They got 2 through there, but not 3 wide. Down the inside, Gresham Wagner makes contact with Michael Carter. Wagner in the number 5 car, black and orange and green this year. That's another new livery. But Zilic, the confidence of this young rookie. He held on to that wide line. Behind him, Nunes in the red and white 32. Celine Roland down the inside. Then the touch between the orange and green from Gresham Wagner onto Michael Carter, and coming through there was the 96 of Jared Thomas. So remember, he was leading the race. He's back up to 5th. That is not the right line coming out of turn number 5. There's action everywhere. We could have 20 screens and still not have enough eyes on this race. Zilic, for me, just extraordinary at the front of the field, how he is so confident. He was actually passed on the line by Chris Nunes, and he just kept doing what he's been doing on that outside run. Meantime, Nunes again, 32 car, having a look for second place. Roland doesn't feel the need to defend. I'm really impressed with Zilic because he's not driving the same lines as everybody else. He's worked this one out. Big spin. Woody Hyman again has gone around in the 82. This time he has got damage, and it's at the bus stop again. 11.5 to go. Stays green for the moment. Now, if there's a pass now and yellow comes out and it's a long cleanup, this could be crucial. We saw this last year at this venue. 2 groups of 2. Big draft. The second pair should have the advantage, and they are. It's Nunes and Gonzalez down on the low side, going for the lead. On the high side, Zilic for once gives up the position, and he'll find himself in 3rd as he crosses the line, but he'll go very wide, very deep on the brakes. He's right out on the white line, but he finds the grip and drives himself back to... No, he stays in 3rd. And here comes Roland down the inside. This is extraordinary. Roll the dice, ladies and gentlemen. Stick a pin in the entry list. It could be any one of these 4 or the next 5 or 6 behind, because here comes Gresham Wagner as well.
Gonzalez is trying to do that hooking technique that he was using through turn 1 to much effect earlier, dropping the 2 left side tires in the dirt. Did not work this time through.
Yeah, Woody Hyman had the contact earlier. He spun up on the high side, just tried to turn down a little bit too sharply into the bus stop, but I think he's moving again.
Chris Noon's now trying the outside line through the Western Horseshoe. Celine Roland takes the traditional line and says, thank you very much. I'll be leading this race.
Whose turn is it now to lead the race? Just pick another number out of the hat. Lovely move down the inside by Zilic. He is full of confidence. With drivers that have far more experience in this category of racing. Jared Thomas is on the back of this group as well. Again, with the yellow roll cage, that's the top 6 pretty much back together again.
And Gresham Wagner right in front of him, too. A guy who started way further down, now working his way up.
So, here comes Gonzalez. He tries to look down the inside. Conor Zilic making use offline, and that's what we generally call the karting line in the wet. And why do we call it that? Because when you're in a kart, you can feel where the grip is and you go away from where the rubber has been laid down. Zilic with karting experience, very traditional run up through motorsport, started in karts, and he's putting all of that experience to good effect now. Gonzalez trying to get back to the lead. 8.5 to go. Slow car down on the apron, but they've all managed to go by. Oh, this is Jared Thomas had a chance there, but Chris Nunes just blocked him off. Now here comes Gresham Wagner. Now he's trying the Zilic line. Where's Zilic gone? He's fallen back a little bit, but now he closes back up again. So it's 6 now. The Carter and Wagner incident under review at this part of the track, the International Horseshoe. Zilic, he puts the car where no one else is going. 3 wide in the International Horseshoe. Zilic is finding grip on the curbs and on the white lines here that nobody else is. It's extraordinary.
How does he not go sliding clear off the track?
I've no clue.
It doesn't make sense. Did he super glue his tires? Did he put some of Elmer's finest on the outside of them? Because that's the only reason that he would still be having grip. Their brake rotors are glowing now. Jared Thomas in particular with the 96. The headlights are gleaming. This is night racing.
It could, off out of the horseshoe at the far end. That's Zilic. Kept his foot in. 7.5 to go. He's not lost the back of the pack though. He's still in this. Just kept his foot in. Really sensible driving. So it's Roland at the front now. Then Wagner. So what happened to Zilic? He was on the high side here.
He got the elbow out from Jared Thomas. Jared lost it. He had a wiggle.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional by Jared. He's not that type of driver.
No.
He just lost a little bit of traction. Back end went, front end went, a little bit of hip and shoulder. Meantime, at the front of the field, live share, 4 wide going into the bus stop.
Oh my goodness, and it is Tyler Gonzalez for Copeland Motorsports leading them through. Then Gresham Wagner, who had a crash in qualifying, now up to 2nd in 5th place for Spark Performance. JTR represented in 3rd with Jared Thomas in the 96, and then in 4th is Hickson Motorsport with the 87. That means we have 4 different teams in the top 4. There are no allies at this point.
Well, Aaron Johnson is in 9th position. This has been won from 8th before. He's maybe a little bit too far back. The top 6, 5 are still together. Oh, there's almost a touch as they go into the tri-oval again and again. It is Chris Nunes down on that bottom side, right on the edge of adhesion. Incident responsibility, the 0-5, or the 5, excuse me.
Drive-through penalty for Gresham Wagner. That's going to take him out of this one
He
goes to the lead.
He's the leader, and that was for the incident at the International Horseshoe when he drove into the side of Michael Carter. Nobody is saying that was intentional. The words used by race control at IMSA are incident responsibility. It was just a little mistake, and there's more side-by-side action again, this time with Bruno Canheiro, who's all of a sudden joined the lead pack. So the incident, it was the merest of touches on Michael Carter. Michael did a really good job to hold on to it. That pushed Gresham at that point up to 5th position. He's since gone to the lead, and now he'll have to take a drive through. That's going to push him down, well, down out of the top 10, possibly to the lower reaches of the teens. 5 minutes to go, Shane. 5 minutes. Wagner leading. He's not going to be there for very much longer. The team will be talking to race control. He's got 3 laps to serve that, but there's really no sense in him staying out there. The decision's been made.
Well, and he's the defending champion, John. So starting the year off with minimum, let's say 15th place points, that's a disaster for Gresham.
Here comes Jared Thomas pushing Celine Roland to the lead. They're working together now. They go through into first and second. Now, what will Wagner do? Tyler Gonzalez off the circuit there and almost made up a position on the dirt. Chris Noons in the red and white car. Now, surely his team will be telling him, be careful, because that car might be coming into the pits. The 5 car might be coming into the pits. This could be really dangerous now. Wagner hasn't signaled that he's coming in. He's gone back to the lead. Now, as he goes on the high side of Celine Roland and comes underneath us, so he stayed out. That was heart in the mouth moment there for me. Meantime, Gonzalez goes 3 wide. Roland with damage, and here comes Zilic again. Do not count out this young rookie. He's up to 4th. He's trying the wide line again at turn 1. He gets a great drive when he does that, Shay. He
does, but unfortunately his exit is stifled by the rear bumper of Jared Thomas, who instead benefits from a little bit of a push. He goes in deeper and braking. Brake loaders are just red as he tries the outside once again. Does he make it stick around Thomas?
Got him.
Yep.
Let's go up to 3rd. There's time, there's time for Zilic to get back to the lead here. He's very, very quick.
He's effectively 2nd because remember, Gresham Wagner is leading, and it could very well be that Gresham is staying out to take the picture on the track of the lead across the line, but he will be penalized post-race.
And Chris Noons was on the dirt there. He's going to have mud on the BF Goodrich tyres. Here comes Zilic. Zilic gets a good run out the Western Horseshoe.
White flag next time by is the call from race control.
Oh, big moment for the leader. That's going to allow Noons to go through. They all check up behind. Here comes Thomas in the silver number 96 with the yellow roll cage. Then Celine Roland, he's not out of it either. Neither is Tyler Gonzalez. This lap and 1 more. Can we not just leave them going until they run out of fuel?
Please.
Really?
Please.
Just, honestly, I think that now is the better thing to do instead of saying 45 minutes here until they run out of fuel. Contact with the leader, with the penalty though. The number 5 car will have to come into the pits.
Oh, Roland just came in with the head of steam as well.
Magnificent stuff under very difficult conditions. Noons effectively the leader then, in 2nd place at the moment on the road. So this is the battle for the lead. The 2 red cars, the 32 and the 72. Zilic in only his 3rd outing in the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Championship. Jared Thomas right there. Thomas somehow, always, Jared Thomas has speed at the end of the race. Big moment there. Intake of breath from Shea Adam alongside me, John Hindhaugh. Here comes the train. And Wagner's trying to go down into the pit lane, I think there. Yes, he's gone down behind the under the yellow line. That could have been absolutely horrible. He's not got down to the pit lane speed limit, has he? He maybe has done, but he's going to lose a whole lot of real estate. So now we've got 5 cars for the lead. We're on the white flag lap. Zilic tries round the outside, down the inside. Chris Noons in the lead. Celine Roland and Jared Thomas back down to 5th. That there, right there, is Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Racing. Exactly, that's what it's going to be for the whole season. Get used to this if you haven't watched it before. Noons down the inside, gets to 2nd for a moment. Zilic round the outside. Celine Roland's going, keep fighting, guys. I might be able to make a break.
Our top 5 are covered by 0.2 of a second. That is insane. A lap ago, they were separated by half a second.
Nobody's surprised here. Got to tell you that. This is what we are used to. All right, half a lap. So round about 1.75 miles. And Celine Roland with the new Austin Hatcher livery on his car. Goes up onto the high banks. He'll turn left here. Now, Gonzalez in second. Then it's Nunes in third. No, it's Zilic in third, excuse me.
Yep.
Nunes in fourth. Then Jared Thomas. And just off the back of them,
Bruno Carniero.
He's had a really good run, Carniero. Carniero has done a good job. He latched onto the leaders and he's just sitting there at the moment waiting for the opportunity. Where do you make the move? Do you wait to the line? Dare you wait to the line? That's what happened here last year. The spray is making things very difficult.
Gonzalez is going to try it into the bus stop. That has been his spot so far tonight as he went 4 BF Goodrich's off the last time. Does he keep him on the pavement this time?
Barely.
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly, yes. Now, this is where you want to be quick. You want a great exit out the bus stop, and it looks like Zilic has got one. The former karting star, the scholarship winner from last year. Top 3 holding themselves up here. Chris Nunes could be in with a shout, the 32 car. And look out behind as well for Carniero. He'll be starting to get the draft now. There's 4 cars in the picture at the moment, but can Carniero catch them? I don't think he can. Oh, someone was on the brakes there. That looked like Zilic had to not just lift off, but brake. 2 by 2 to the line. It's Celine Roland. It's Gonzalez. Gonzalez down below the yellow line takes it. But below the yellow line is the crucial thing there. And there goes Roland into the wall in turn 1 after the checkered flag. At the line, it was Gonzalez, Nunes, Celine Roland, Connor Zilic in 4th position, Jared Thomas and Bruno Carniero. Then Michael Carter. That is your top 7.
But for Celine Roland, if that car is severely damaged, that could take him out of tomorrow's race. He is a full season championship contender.
Gonzalez timed his run. He didn't go for it at the bus stop. Down on the inside, Roland squeezing down on him a little bit there. But I think that's all okay. Almost on the grass for Gonzalez, but he's below the yellow line. And who got second? It was Nunes who squeezed it by the width of a number plate.
2 1,000ths of a second was the gap between Nunes and Roland for 3rd and 2nd place. Connor Zilic missing the podium by about half of a tenth.
Well, that will be being looked at. The bump at the end and Roland into the wall. Safer barriers there, of course. But also Tyler Gonzalez below the line. Now in the run to the line, how is that looked at? He wasn't, what I will say for him, he was not defending there. He was attacking, and the leader at the time, who was Roland, had moved down just a little bit. They're difficult conditions. I think that'll be okay, but I'm not race control. I'm really not. So 51 Gonzalez, 32 Nunes, and Celine Roland.
That might be a little bit difficult.
Won't be able to get to the podium. And number 65 called as well.
That is Bryce Cornet.
Well,
he had a good race back up to 13th.
And 4th in the rookie class.
Yep.
Connor Zilic is the best of the rookies. Mo Murray, a quick word from you. It seems to me as though we've started off the season exactly where we left off last year for Idemitsu Mazda MX-5.
A quick word is about all I'll give you because I'm trying to catch my breath after that. Can you believe that the level of that racing and coming across the line the way they did?
In these conditions?
In these conditions, running down low, you know, with 14 rookies in the race, running around here in the dark. In this wet condition around, you know, Daytona International Speedway. What an incredible race. Look at the winning margin of 62 thousandths of a second. And by MX-5 Cup standards, that's a wide margin.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's incredible. And like you said, Shay, another 2 thousandths back to 3rd place with Celine Roland. So what a way to start the season. We'll do it all again in the morning for race 2. But boy, oh boy, I'm not sure how you followed that up. I do hope the IMSA WeatherTech teams and drivers had a chance to watch that because that is entertainment.
That is entertainment of the highest order. And the guys coming back into the paddock now. Just to give you the unofficial results at this time, the Mazda results. Tyler Gonzalez then for the Copeland Motorsport team goes across the line in first position by 62 one-thousandths of a second from in second position. The number 32, Chris Noons, great run from him. He takes second by the width of, well, the paint on his bumper, not even the bumper. 2 one-thousandths after was Celine Roland, and Connor Zilisch in fourth position is the best of the rookies. Mo Murray was alongside Shea Adam and me, John Hindhaugh. Magnificent stuff. We'll do it again tomorrow. You'll see it sound and vision free and uninterrupted. Got to be. It's appointment motor racing. You've got to be on board again for tomorrow. Congratulations to Tyler Gonzalez. What a run. What a run. Timed it perfectly. Had a quick car all day from Copeland Motorsports. Chose his moment on that last lap. Started under the safety car with the weather conditions having changed markedly from practice and qualifying. It was the usual tussle right the way through the field. Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 2022 is back underway in the best possible circumstances in terms of the racing in the most difficult conditions with the wet, greasy track here at Daytona. Thank you to all of our camera operators out there in the weather, and indeed, of course, to our volunteer marshals and race officials. There's another one to go tomorrow. We'll see you for that one.
This program is a Radio Show Limited production. For more, check IMSARadio.com and subscribe to IMSA Radio wherever you get your podcasts.